Hi, Tommy.
Hey, what's up, Buttercup?
Not much, sugar schmush. Can
Nice one.
Why do I always have to look at your ceiling? Can I ever see your
Oh, my
face?
bad. Yeah, you can see my face here and there. Only on special occasions, though. All right, what's up?
Whoa.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
uh,
this is my salt lamp. Anyways, what's up, everybody?
yeah. We're on Zoom again, so
hmm
if Tommy's audio cuts out more, um, deal with it. So, we've actually got some news today. News I want to talk about. Some came out last week, some came out today, even. Uh, and then we're going to talk about what Tommy at least has been itching to talk about since we started this podcast, and
Yeah.
that's the thing he's mentioned in every single episode so far.
I don't, yeah, I think you're right. I think I've, maybe? No, there's got to be one episode where I didn't talk about it. There's no way I talked about it in, like, burning. Who knows?
I mean, you might have,
I
but
probably did.
that's Avatar, and we're going to talk about book one, and we're going to save book two and book three for separate episodes because there's so much content in there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Um, and we'll eventually do Korra once I get around to watching it.
hmm
Um, I don't have any notes this week, so I feel empty.
Oh, I don't
But
have any notes either because I feel like I can just go for
yeah,
like hours.
um, but so I wanted to talk about. So the first thing I just sent you and you just watched it, but the WandaVision trailer just came out. Um, that was last night, and I wanted to know your thoughts.
So it's a TV show?
Yeah, I think it's a limited like 8 episode thing, maybe.
Yeah. So could you first explain, I might just be missing something here, but like why are they like back in time? Like to seems like the
Well,
50s, I don't know, 60s, I don't know,
right.
something like
So
that.
what I think it is like it looks like because spoilers for Endgame, by the way, but like obviously Vision is dead. Um, and
Oh yeah, he didn't come back, right? Because he
right,
was
he was
crushed by
killed by it.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Well, that was
but
Infinity War.
yeah, but like I don't know.
Oh, because he didn't come back.
Yeah, he didn't come back. So,
Okay.
but um, so I think this show is gonna be her like dealing with that like loss, and it looks like she's created this like perfect reality because like her powers in the comic books they haven't really showed it in the movies yet, but she can literally manipulate reality
She
itself.
basically has the reality stone
Pretty much,
as a
yeah.
power.
Um, so it looks like she's created like this perfect like I Love Lucy kind of sitcom reality for her and Vision to kind of exist in, and it looks like it's starting to like kind of crumble around them. Um, but I thought it looked really interesting, and because we kind of talked about this in our Joker episode, but it was starting to kind of feel like Marvel had this formula, and you kind of knew what you were getting. But this is kind of new, like really new and really inventive and unique. And I like the way it takes you from like 50s sitcoms to 70s to 80s. It looks really interesting. I think it looks like something new, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I guess the moment I wasn't like super wowed or anything because usually I feel like
Super
when
what?
any I wasn't wowed.
Oh, I thought you said
Um,
WAD.
yeah, I wasn't whapped at all. um, just because I feel like when like big like franchises start to branch off into TV, it like doesn't really ever work out. Like there's probably
But
some
what's
things
one
here and
other
there.
example?
So like Star Wars.
But that is Clone
I
Wars.
guess yeah, I was about to say Clone Wars, but like I don't know. I thought Mandalorian was very okay, and
Yeah, I didn't love Mandalorian either, but a lot of people really do.
yeah, I remember I showed you like a few months ago. There was I like was looked up the top whatever 100 TV shows of all time, and I think the list had like at 27 Mandalorian. It's
Yeah.
like what? But I don't know. I feel like I'm just always hesitant when they try for a TV, just because it's such a different structure
hmm
that
Yeah.
it's like unless you're really going for like drama and suspense and like a huge plot, it's really hard to go from movies to TV.
Well, that's why I like that it's only like a limited series kind of deal. Like it's only 8 episodes, and they have that. If it's not like if I don't want to have a WandaVision season 2, season 3 kind of thing,
Just
But
you just want like one season?
one season of like eight
Oh
episodes, so
yeah.
it's like this is a story they wanted to tell, and
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
it's like this is the one thing we have in mind, you know, and because I think it's gonna because Wanda and Vision are two characters in the MCU that I feel like have very little going on, or
Hmm.
very little going for them. I know they have their like fans, maybe Wanda, but not Vision. I don't know a single Vision fan in real life, but and I think this looks like it's going to shed some more development on their parts, and maybe like going back and watching Infinity War again, like I'll actually feel something when Vision dies.
Yeah, actually, now thinking about it, I actually 100% agree with what you said. I think if they did a single season, like of like 8 episodes, and it's not really about like this cash grab of, oh, here are some superheroes, and we just want you to watch it because we want money kind of thing, and it's not actually
Mm-hmm.
that good of a story. If it's something where like the writers, they just want something quick because there's this good story they want to tell throughout like a season, then I think that could be really, really interesting. I don't really know exactly it's going to be. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody
that's why I'm
really
kind of
does.
excited for it though, because like we've got
Yeah.
the other Disney Plus shows like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and though
Hmm.
I'm really excited for that one, especially like I feel like it's going to be more of the same of like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and there's a big villain and they have to take him down kind of thing. But this looks a little more personal, a little more different.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a little bit different than
Yeah,
just superheroes fighting, which is pretty
and
cool.
I'm quite excited for that. And there's that moment in the trailer where Vision like touches that lady in the car, and he's like, "Are you all right?" And she's like, "Am I dead?" He's like, "Why would you say that?" And she's like, "Cause you're dead." And I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." Like, I'd love to see some stuff like that in there.
Hmm.
Moving on, uh, in terms of gamer news, so
Rise up, baby.
we had a PlayStation showcase last week. So firstly, we got the price, which is four
It
ninety
was three.
nine for
Oh, 499. Yeah.
the disc version, 399 for the no disc version, which is uh, the disc version is the same price as the Xbox, but the no disc version is $100 more than the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty smart. Just because like people don't really. I mean, not that people don't, but like more people are starting to buy digital
Yeah,
nowadays.
I mean I'm getting disc because I have a fucking massive Blu-ray collection, and I'm not gonna like not use it. But
Mhm.
for people who don't give a fuck about discs anymore, like that's way better option. But
Yeah, I would probably get the no disc version. I just like don't really care.
yeah, but what was I gonna say? Um, so yeah, that was like people were saying the PlayStation 5 was gonna be like $700 at one point, and I never believed that. But like seeing this, it was like confirmation. Like, okay, Sony's not that fucking dumb because if the Xbox was 500 and they were like 700, no one would have gone PlayStation this gen. Um,
Yeah, people
Not
like
even
actually
me.
need to. People really need to realize that like I understand that it's like a big like product, but there are like companies behind this stuff who would never in a million years make a
Mhm.
game console $700. Like
And also
it's
like,
just not realistic
yeah,
in like today's environment.
yeah. And like they totally could have been like waiting to see what Xbox was gonna price theirs at, and then just be like, quickly change the price. Like now ours is
Exactly.
500. But so yeah, I'm going PlayStation. Especially you don't have either, but like kind of preaching to the choir here. But in the game showcase, they showed um, Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is a
Yeah.
tie-in game to the actual Spider-Man PS4, which looks quite good.
Yeah,
I
I watched and it
obviously
looked
haven't
like
played the first
really
one,
cool.
and it looks like they have Miles's unique powers, his camouflage and his like Venom Strike as like actual game mechanics, which gets me hyped because like I want playing as Miles Spider-Man to feel different from playing as Peter Spider-Man. Um,
Yeah, so what were like some of the things that I like never played it. I didn't have a PS4 or Xbox One, but like what were some of the things about
what's not
the
on Xbox?
Spider-Man game? Yeah, I know, but like I'm just saying I didn't have like either generation.
Yeah, yeah.
Um What were like some of the things about Spider-Man that like you really enjoyed?
I mean, I just think it was like probably one of the best like Spider-Man stories we've gotten recently. Like we had Spider-Verse, but that wasn't really a Peter Parker story as much as it was a
Yeah.
Miles story. Um,
The Spider-Man game was about Peter Parker, right?
oh yeah, and
Cool.
Miles is in it, but like Peter's like the main focus, and I thought it was really good at showing like some of the things that are kind of missing from the recent movies, like his financial troubles and stuff like that. And I just like seeing Peter Parker as a full adult. I'm kind of over teenage Peter Parker. And for anyone listening, I still like MCU Spider-Man, but I'm also allowed to have problems with him. So, um, yeah, I just really love the story for that game, and like the slow build and the villain and everything is done like it's not spoiler alert, Tommy. It's Doctor Octopus, but it's done over the course of the whole game. And it's really really good, and the swinging is just like fucking amazing. Like there's no game that like no Spider-Man game I should say that like feels that good, and just the combat like it's all so good. The map like the design of New York, it's like spot on. Like I actually like we went or you weren't there, but like I went with a couple friends of ours to New York, and I literally like knew my way
My
around
way around, Wabbit.
way more because I'd played Spider-Man. Um,
That's kind of sad, but it's actually really funny.
but so Miles Morales looks like more, but also new stuff. So very hyped for that, and that's
Mhm.
pretty much the main reason I'm getting a PlayStation is for Spider-Man.
Wow.
And then,
I'm probably gonna get a PlayStation. I didn't get either. I just said I didn't get either last generation, but I will probably get PlayStation just because I feel like the exclusives are much better.
we're gonna talk about
And
that in a little bit.
oh yeah, did you hear about the Bethesda?
Yeah, don't get
Yeah,
Tommy. Don't get ahead of us.
my
I have
bad.
more.
Sorry.
That was the piece de resistance. So the other game that was big that was showed at the showcase was the Harry Potter game. Did you see this?
Oh yeah, it was like Wizard 101, but like on steroids.
It's called Hogwarts Legacy. It's an RPG. Takes place in Hogwarts in the 1800s.
Actually, did look really cool.
Yeah, I'm interested. There's no like gameplay, but I mean, an open world game set in the Harry Potter universe is like, why the fuck haven't they done this yet? You know, like that just seems like a no brainer. So if it's good, I'll definitely pick it up and play the fucking shit out of it. Because I really like Harry Potter, and yeah, I just think that looks like a fun, good time. Fuck J.K. Rowling though.
Yeah, what'd she do again? I know she's like really
She's just
whack, but
transphobic.
really?
Said like, yeah,
That's isn't she the person that was like after like years and years after the Harry Potter story came out, she's like, by the way, Dumbledore's gay.
yeah,
And she's just like saying all these things just to like
and
sound
the wizards
woke.
shit themselves and banish it. She said
Yeah.
before toilets they would shit their pants and then just make it disappear. Um, but yeah, so she's
Oh yeah,
like been.
Hagrid is also transphobic, right? He like came out to defend
Oh
J.K.
fuck yeah, he did,
Rowling.
and that really sucks. But like, it's okay because those books were written by Daniel Radcliffe and
Which book?
illustrated by Emma Watson. All of them, all the Harry Potters.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
Um, but they all came out against J.K. Rowling. They literally Daniel Radcliffe, Emma
Nice.
Watson, and Rupert Grint. They were all like, "Fuck you."
That's sick.
And I think Tom Felton, who played Draco.
Oh, let's go
Yeah,
Slytherin. Slytherin on the good side for once.
I know, right? Um, so yeah, that looks fun. But and then there was a Five Nights at Freddy's announcement.
Oh yeah, I watched that and I'm like, what the hell is this? Then I'm like, I think this is Freddy's, and it's Freddy's. I'm like, okay, that's something that I will never touch. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. Have you?
I played the first one. I mean, not all the way through, but like, uh, someone at high school had it on their iPad, and I would play it.
Hmm. I don't really get the appeal. I feel like isn't it like the same game every single time?
Pretty much, yeah. But like,
But
I don't
there's
know.
like
It
some
has
kind
like
of
this
weird
weird
story.
cult of fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because like people are like people say like, oh, if you read the lore, it's like it's like so interesting, but I don't care enough about animatronic bears and bunnies to like really read into it that much.
Yeah. I have other things. that are more
But I'm sure if
important,
you
like
like Five
talking
Nights at
about
Freddy's,
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
yeah. But I'm sure if you like Five Nights at Freddy's, this is like incredibly exciting news.
Yeah, it's true.
And yeah, and then the big news was that today, Xbox tomorrow, pre-orders go live for Xbox tomorrow. And today they were like, oh, by the way, we're buying Bethesda.
Yeah, that was like the most like, oh yeah, this happened, but it's like a super big deal because it's like, well, shit, like.
Because I got texts from some friends of ours who were going to go PlayStation, and they were like, I think I might go Xbox now.
Yeah, like
Uh,
Bethesda is
that's a
like they.
huge, huge company to acquire.
I'm definitely like
Microsoft.
rethinking my decision now, like because that's literally Elder Scrolls 6. Like that's
I
gonna
know,
be one
but
of
like
the best games
I know,
of next generation.
but like I also wonder like that game's been in development for so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they really gonna spend all this time and then cut like the amount of money they can make from it in half? Because like they,
Well,
I don't
then
know.
why else would have Xbox? I mean, I guess there's
Well,
other
there's
reasons
other
why they would
games
have
they
bought
can make
Bethesda.
exclusive,
That is true.
but and yeah, Microsoft can still get all the revenue from the Bethesda games, but
I also can't see a world where Elder Scrolls 6 comes out on Xbox and not PC.
well, it will at
Yeah.
least come out on PC. And
Yeah.
that's my thing is like Microsoft exclusives also come out on PC. So like if you wanted the best playing experience, you'd probably just go PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Apparently, like most games next generation are just gonna straight up be out on PC. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It might
Sony
just
and
be the
Nintendo are the
smart.
only ones holding out on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and but yes, it's a huge fucking deal. Like imagine PlayStation was like, "Oh yeah, like GTA 6, that's only going to be on PlayStation." It'd be like a huge
That
deal.
would.
And that's what this is.
Yeah.
Like Elder Scrolls 6 might be an exclusive. Are you fucking serious? I mean, I
That
never
it
played
really
Skyrim.
sucks. It's really good.
I know. I've heard. But
Yeah. In case you didn't hear.
um
Yeah, it kind of sucks just because, like, I don't know. I just wish I could buy a console and play the games I want to play and not have to worry
yeah.
about things like exclusives.
Mhm.
But it's like, it's
And if
just,
you're
it's
listening to this,
inevitable.
if anyone's listening, I don't give a fuck whether you go Xbox or PlayStation. They do the
I
exact
do.
same
That
fucking
says a
thing.
lot to me. I actually based our friendship off that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I know.
That's a straight up lie. You never had an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah, well, I thought both people were pussies.
But yeah, so somehow there's still console wars in 2020, and I just don't care. I'm going PlayStation because of Spider-Man and like Naughty Dog games. But if you want to go Xbox because of Bethesda, I totally get it. You know, and that's a
Yeah.
really fucking smart move on Microsoft's part to like buy Bethesda. $7 billion too.
7.5.
Yeah, that's more than Disney bought Star Wars for.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
That's also more than they bought Minecraft for.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's a wild thing, but it's gonna be interesting this year, I think. Um,
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm probably just gonna wait a while and then make a informed decision based on where all of my friends go.
it's gonna be Xbox.
It probably will.
Though, though I do have some people who are Xbox now that are talking to me about switching.
Yeah. Well, I was really thinking about. I was like very dead set on being. Yeah, I'm just gonna go PS5, and then this news, and I'm like, nah. Now I'm not so
Hmm.
sure again.
It's a tough call, but what you can always do is like go with one, and then if a game really comes out that you want, you just buy the console from GameStop, beat the game in a week, and then return it for your money back.
Is that like you can do that?
Hmm.
Sick.
If you return a console in the first week, you get full refund.
Oh, nice. What if I just buy a console from every single GameStop, and so like I just make like buy from this GameStop 1 week, and then return it the next week, and then buy
I mean, I
another,
don't know if you
so that I
couldn't, but
could
you'd
just
probably have to come up with like different email addresses.
exactly. I think it might work.
Yeah, we'll see. Um, I think that's all the news I've got. You got anything?
Um, no.
I'm
Oh, actually, you know what?
thinking.
I'll send
What?
you a picture of this, and you can use this as the background for the YouTube video. I drew this.
Oh, you drew that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're only holding up half the paper.
Oh, okay. I can't really. There we go.
I will put it as the background
Cool.
of this week's episode.
If you can't, in case you guys can't tell, I drew a picture of the 4 elements, and yeah, it looks cool. I like it.
Great
And yeah,
segue. So
speaking of
we're gonna
elements,
talk about we're talking about the fifth element today.
yeah. what movie was that?
I have no idea.
When you said the fifth element, I immediately thought of The Sixth Sense, and I'm like, that's not the movie. But yeah, we're talking about Avatar Book 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want to actually talk about Book 1 first, or do you want to just talk about Avatar? What do you want to do?
Let's start talking about book 1.
Okay. So I actually, after I rewatched all of Avatar this summer, I actually made a ranking of all the episodes, including all the episodes in each season. So I have a very comprehensive list of the best episodes. Number 1, The Siege of the North Part 2. It's a great one. Next is
Yeah,
The
I have a
Storm.
list too.
I'm just going to read off the top 5, if that's all right. Number 1 is Siege of the North Part 2. Next is The Storm, then The King of Omashu, and then Warriors of Kyoshi, and then The Blue
King of
Spirit.
Omashu that high, huh?
I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. And that's the
I have
episode where the cough thing happens. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Tommy has this running joke in our friend group where he will cough if someone says a joke that no one laughs at. And as I was rewatching Avatar this last time, I was like, "Did you get this from Avatar?" Because there's like twice that it happens in book 1.
Yeah, it happens in King of Omashu like twice, and I just never knew. It was the weirdest thing.
So my number 1 is same as yours, Siege of the North Part 2.
Yeah.
Then Siege of the North Part 1, Waterbending Master, the Southern Air Temple, and then the Storm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I will say about I think most people would maybe agree this season was probably the weakest of the 3.
Oh, definitely.
It was like it just didn't there was a lot of filler stuff that like, I mean it did stuff for the actual like characters and whatever, but nothing that really like progressed the plot all that much.
Yeah.
However, I did like this season a lot because there's the most traveling in it. And Avatar is such a good show because it's just these like group of friends traveling the world and trying to like master the elements before, shit hits the fan.
That's what I
And
want to say is like
it's so sick.
right out the gate, this show has such a perfect premise. And what I mean by that is there's such a clear goal from the very second it starts. It's like master all 4 elements, defeat the Fire Lord. That's the goal of the show.
I guess it's not the from the first episode. It's from like what, the 7th or 8th episode. Winter Solstice Part 2 is when he finds out.
Well, no, but overall we knew he would have to master all 4 elements and defeat the Fire Lord. But when we get to Winter Solstice, it's like, and there's a deadline. And exactly. Now there's a perfect setup for the series. You have carved out the perfect ending to your series, and they stick to it. They don't go past Sozin's Comet. Like we knew from halfway through book 1, Sozin's Comet was it. That was the end. And it ended up being the end, and that was such a perfect structure to have. And to have each season split into water, earth, fire. Just so smart. I just love when a show has such a clear goal.
Yeah, the beauty in this show is that it's so simple. Well, I guess it's deceptively simple. It's like, yeah, this season he learns water, this season he learns earth, this season he learns fire. And basically you can just bend the elements and he has to beat the fire. It's very simple premise, but it's done like perfectly. The way
Mm-hmm.
they do it is just incredible.
Well, because it's
Um,
also finding a teacher. Each time he has to learn an element, he has to find a teacher, and that's he goes through multiple people who might be able to teach him, but nope. And like there's an episode um in this one where he tries to get a firebending master before he's learned water and earth, and he,
mhm.
you know, it fucks up and doesn't work. So he's like, I'm not touching fire again until I've done water and earth. Well, he says he's
No,
not
he,
going to
he
do
says he's
fire at
never
all,
gonna.
but
Yeah,
obviously he ends up doing fire. But so yeah, I think this season it's still great, right? Like it's easily like
oh yeah, it's like
better than
easily.
most shows.
Mhm.
But I think this season, especially when I rewatched it, because I watched it back in March, um, and then I rewatched it a couple days ago, um, and I think on my second rewatch, I was like, yeah, there are a lot of episodes in this that are just not that great, and
Yeah, there's just
specifically, there's
like,
one stretch of 3 episodes that's just like it's
what was the stretch?
Jet, uh, it's Jet, Great Divide, and Waterbending Scroll all right in a row.
Yeah, those are pretty weak episodes.
And yeah, and it's like those are fine, but it just feels like a lot of meandering, I guess. And that's kind of my biggest gripe with the show is that um, it's like it's also hard to like go back to the beginning, and like so much of the stuff that makes Avatar so good comes in the second and third books. So like when you rewatch season one, it's like, man, I miss Toph, like
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
it doesn't
complete
feel
because Toph
complete,
isn't
yeah,
there.
right.
It's kind of weird.
And um Zuko is, which I gotta say, that's another thing. Is like right out the gate, they're setting up for Zuko's redemption immediately
Yeah, they
because
like present Zuko as this conflicted villain,
yeah,
and it's just done so well because like in so many other TV shows or movies, they only present the villain as a villain and nothing else but like this person who just wants power.
hmm
But like from the moment Zuko is there, you can see that he's just like this kid who doesn't really know what he wants and is, upset and angry at everything. And then that's when the show the episode The Storm comes in,
yeah,
and you see that like Zuko was like abused as a child, and his
hmm
mom left, and the only person that treated him like a father was his uncle.
his uncle, yeah,
And it's just like such amazing depth in each character, which is probably the strongest part of this season. It's just like
yeah.
the characters are done perfectly.
And that's true of every season, really.
Yeah, but I
Like
just
my
like how they
least,
like laid the groundwork.
like my least favorite character of like the main cast, not including like just like supporting cast, but like is probably Aang. But that's not to say Aang's a bad character, but it's just the other characters are just so good, and Aang's so good.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
think the thing about it is that every other character in the main cast has something about their personality that like defines them. So
hmm
like Zuko, his like struggle for knowing what's right. Katara, she's like, she's kind of like bossy,
her
but also
loss,
like her loss in her mom. And
yeah,
Sokka's the funny guy. Toph is like rebellious and whatever. But Aang is just kind of like a very normal person, and what
right.
defines him is just the fact that he's the Avatar, and
And
he
I
doesn't
think
really have much else going in his
in
personality.
this season especially, he's he's kind of annoying because he's still like a kid, you know.
Yeah, he's a
He
child.
hasn't
Yeah.
matured all that much, and obviously that really happens after Siege of the North. But like, it's just a testament to how good all the other characters are that like your main character kind of falls, not even falls by the wayside, but like is just the one I gravitate towards the least. I'm sure there are some diehard Aang fans out there, but it's kind of like Harry Potter, whose favorite Harry Potter character is Harry Potter,
Yeah.
and because especially when you have like, um, it's like I want to talk about later stuff so bad, but like Zuko ends up really stealing the show,
Yeah, he it's insane. Him
Um,
and Iroh. Oh, I mean, Iroh's in this season too. You get to see
but
like glimpses of how good Iroh is, like as a person.
oh yeah, well there's that moment. I just watched it in Siege of the North. Um, before he like before Zuko goes into like the boat to like go catch the Avatar, and Iroh's just like, "Don't forget your breath of fire," like be careful. Like, and he's like
Yeah,
kind of tearing up. It's like, and then he tells Zuko like, "Oh, I think of you as my son because I lost mine." And
yeah.
so
It's so beautiful. It's so sad. Um, but yeah, I really like Iroh's character. I think everybody does. I think Iroh is probably my favorite character in the whole series, which is hard to say because each character is like amazing. But I just
yeah,
like how like it's again it's simple. He's like on the bad side. He's on the Fire Nation, which like you're supposed to think of as the bad, like aggressive, angry for Power Nation. But Iroh is
yeah,
just this very calm, like loving person who happens to be on the Fire Nation. And it's
hmm
from like that moment where you kind of realize that this show is a little bit different because they're not just like not everything is black and white
yeah.
where like this is bad side, this is good side. It's like wow,
hmm
there's actually like a lot of different ways to interpret everything that's going on.
And I think like even though that some episodes as a whole might be weak, I think like there are so many just like moments in certain episodes that are just like, even if the episode itself is not as good, like so many moments that like make it so rewatchable. Like I'm specifically thinking of Blue Spirit right now,
Mm-hmm.
where just Aang and Zuko have that conversation in the woods where he's
Yeah.
like, "Do you think we could have been friends?" You know, however long ago or whatever. Um,
Yeah, like even in a lot of the more forgettable episodes, there are like some really cool things that happen. Like in the fortune teller episode, there's that scene where like they make the death cloud, and then like Aang
hmm
stops the volcano, and then Sokka's like, "Wow, he's a real powerful bender." And then
Yeah.
Katara's like, "Huh, I guess he is." And like that's like such
Damn.
a memorable part, but like the episode as a whole was kind of just like kind of nothing.
hmm
They just have like so many memorable moments, which is really good.
I like that episode because it has like probably one of my favorite Sokka lines in the show, which is like,
The science
he's
thing.
like, no, no, no. He's going around and he's like asking people, like, he asked this guy, um, do you wear the, or like, what was your fortune? And he was like, she said I was gonna fall in love with, or I was gonna find the love of my life while I was wearing those shoes. And Sokka's like, and do you wear those shoes every day? And he's like, every day. And he's like, well, of course it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I think there was the pretty similar quote where like he was like Sokka said something along the lines of like, "Do your clouds explain why it blah blah blah?" And then the guy like went back at him and he's like, "Does your science explain? Does your science explains why it rains?" And Sokka's like, "Yeah, it does."
um,
It's really funny.
and another thing is like the show, like right off the bat, is just tackling like societal issues. Like obviously
Mm-hmm.
the whole plot is about like fascism, right? But like sexism is what gets Aang freed from the iceberg. Like
Yeah.
because I saw this tweet that was like it's like Katara really freed the Avatar while on a rant about how useless men are. um, so like, and that's like one of the first like obvious pieces of development is like in Kyoshi Warriors. Because Sokka starts out thinking like women are not for being, warriors or whatever.
Yeah,
And
he was like, "Where are the men that attacked me?"
yeah, and then by the end he's like, you know, working
He's
with
very
Toph and
humble,
Suki
and he gets a
and
smooch.
Katara, and he does get a smooch. Which okay, so I wanted to talk about this.
Don't be sexist. You get smooches. This is how it works.
I told you I had a hot take about book one.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hear.
I don't even know if it's this hot of a take. I don't like UA.
It's not that hot of a take. I mean, she's just fine. I don't know. She's just. I feel like she's kind of just like I'm the princess, and then Sokka's like hubba hubba. Like Sokka literally.
Auga.
Yeah, I was about to say
Woo.
Ooga. The eye, his like jaw drops, and
His
the eyes like
jaw.
go way out of his head. um, yeah, she's kind of just like bland. I mean, I hate to say it, but she's just like, she doesn't really do anything besides
Turn to the moon.
die for the moon. She's in like what, 2 episodes? Like 3.
Yeah.
She's in 3 episodes, and Sokka like falls in love with her.
The reason why I bring this up is because I've seen people online talk about how like Sokka and Yue were so much better than Sokka and Suki. And I just don't get it because I was like, I don't remember Yue having that much of a personality.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm the princess, and I'm normal. And that was it. She wasn't like bad character. She was just like very normal.
But so the reason I say Siege of the North Part 2 is like my favorite episode, um, is because like obviously like the thing at the end when the like spirit takes him over or whatever and he becomes the big water thingy.
The koi fish, yeah.
Yeah. But the face stealer, I think it's
Oh
such a
yeah.
cool, unnerving part of the episode, especially when there's that part where like Aang says like the koi fish, and then like the thing like turns around and it's like right at him. He's like he has to like make his face blank again. Like I think they
Hmm.
have so many just like interesting uh like monsters and spirits and characters with like rules like that.
Yeah, there's just like, it's weird because I feel like the show isn't that like in like what's the word? Like deep in terms of its lore, but it makes it seem like it is. Like there's so many different like spirits and like villages and different like political things that go on
Right.
that just make it seem like it has so much depth, but it's actually very, very simple.
And it
Um,
only gets more and more complicated though. Like
yeah, and it's just done like so perfectly. Where as a child you can watch it and be like, "This is a cool show. He's just learning the elements and being the Fire Lord." But then as an adult, you're watching it and you're like, "Wow, there's like so many things going on here." Like literally,
mm-hmm.
one of the main plot points of the show is that genocide was committed against an entire
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
nation.
Which is crazy for a kids show.
Hmm.
But it's so cool how you get like a sense of you know how water tribe culture is different from air nomad culture, how it's different from Fire Nation culture. Like they all feel really distinct, not just like in their elements, but like the way they dress and the environments that are designed for all four nations. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just really great world building,
Oh
because
yeah,
you get like the Southern Water Tribe, which fucking sucks, and it's like a shitty, just like village, and the Northern Water Tribe, which has these like fortified walls and it's this gigantic city, and like I don't know, that stuff just like sticks, and it's not in the season we're talking. Oh, I guess it is, but Omashu with the mail delivery systems and everything,
yeah.
like stuff that like you only get like maybe one throwaway line of dialogue about, but like you instantly like get it, and you always will think of Omashu with those like mail delivery
Yeah,
slots.
exactly. There's just so many like tiny things throughout the show that just make the world seem much more alive
Mm-hmm.
than a lot of other pieces of media do. Like, I don't know, there's just like tiny little things going on in the background, or like exactly what you said, like, for a minute they ride the mail delivery, whatever. And it just adds so much to it without even doing that much.
Yeah, and and another thing, like usually animal sidekicks are really annoying and stupid. Um, and okay, like I'll be honest, Momo's kind of stupid, and I don't love Momo all that much. But
He's just kind of there. I don't know if I
Appa
love him or hate
is
him.
such a good like character. Like honestly,
Yeah, I agree. Up is like literally amazing. And he's not the kind of animal that is like treated like an animal. He's treated like he's a
part of
member
the
of the
team.
exactly. And
Well,
he
that's why
literally
in the fucking live.
yeah, and it's so good. Literally
But
I can't think of any character, like main character that is just a like bad. There is
no,
none. There is no weak character, which is
no,
kind
I
of
literally
nuts.
like, and I'm invested in all of their stories, and they all become um, so much like the power crawl they all have too is like from the beginning of the season, Katara couldn't fucking waterbend, but by the end of Siege of the North, she's like, you know,
She's like beating
eating
everybody.
Paku. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's really cool.
yeah, and obviously like you know, Aang develops through the whole series, and Sokka becomes better with his boomerang and stuff, and like I don't know, it's just like really well done. I feel like I've said that 100 times, but you know, I don't think this like season is like without its flaws. I think it's honestly this one isn't god tier like the other two are, you know?
Yeah, it feels like there's not much going on besides the main plot. Like, besides the fact that Aang is trying to learn waterbending, like, what else is really happening? Like,
Yeah,
Zuko is, I guess, trying to chase him, but like,
yeah,
all right, that's probably it. And there's tiny things like in each episode that like there's little storylines throughout each episode. But besides that, there's just like not much going on.
mm-hmm.
Which isn't like terrible, but it's just like I think the other seasons end up doing so much more with like each. Not only is Aang still trying to learn the elements, but there's like different things going on with each character that make it like
Yeah.
just feels like everything is happening at once,
Well,
which is
that's
great.
the cool thing is like in the next couple seasons you get episodes like Zuko alone, and you get episodes like
Oh yeah.
um, what's it called, the Southern Raiders, where
Mm-hmm.
Aang's like not in it, you know?
There's just a lot of I think a lot of the really good episodes are the one where Aang just like straight up isn't in it.
Yeah, and that's not to say Aang doesn't have good episodes because there's like Firebending Masters and that kind of stuff, but like book one is like if you're watching Avatar for the first time, like stick with it at least until Siege of the
You
North,
yeah, you might
and
feel suffocated by the amount of Aang. It
not
just
even the amount of
it
Aang, but like the amount of like it feels. I think it feels more kiddie. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's
Like
fair.
you got like what is it? What Western Air Temple? Uh, or what is it?
Western Air Temple is the one in the third season.
Is it Northern Air Temple?
That's one with the people in the wheelchairs flying around.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's one where I felt like it was like this feels like a kid show because it's like that's not even a bad thing because like kid
I
shows
think
are obviously
I didn't like that episode all that much, but I will say I think that episode like did analyze like the problem of cultural appropriation, which was
oh
kind
yeah,
of interesting when I watched it. I'm like, wow, they're like they're doing this.
yeah.
It
But
was
the
really
other thing
fun.
is like it does go with that, right? Because like Aang's like upset that they're like you
Yeah,
know
they're like destroying the temple.
destroying the temple, but
And
then
it's
at the
like,
end he's like, "I'm glad you did."
yeah, he was like, I know you're not actually airbenders, but like you have the spirit of airbenders and you know,
Mm,
you're upholding a community that is gone, which is really cool. And I thought that was a really cool message.
yeah. Um,
But the whole season is like sprinkled with that kind of stuff. Um, which is really cool.
yeah. Well, like Blue Spirit, like that's an episode where it feels like about as mature as like season two or season three, you know?
Yeah. And the storm.
Because like and the like little music in the Blue Spirit episodes was like that, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The
Also,
Agni
the
Kai
music
fights.
slaps.
Oh yeah, music is so good. It's actually absurd how I never really thought about it, but like the music adds so much to each episode.
Mm-hmm.
It can be so overlooked, but like there's these things where like they're talking and like the music starts building up, and then they say a joke, and then the music like kind of like falls flat and like Mwah. And then like there's tiny things that I just like never noticed before
Mm-hmm.
that the music does, and it adds an insane amount to the show.
Yeah, and I think it's just really pretty, like them flying around in the clouds on Appa. Like that is such like just like a relaxing image, and like you know it's like so chill. Like the whole show, like stuff like that when they're just like camping and flying around. It's like feels like you're on the adventure with them.
Oh yeah.
So I love that kind of stuff.
And you could be on the adventure with us by subscribing to our YouTube.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube.
Yeah,
Follow
sorry.
us on Twitter.
Yeah, it's at SSMP show. In case you actually want to follow after that terrible, terrible attempt to make a joke. Thanks.
um, yeah, great show, and I think book one I say is a Chad.
Okay, book one's easily a Chad. It's just the other two are so much
They will
more
have to think of
chatty.
above a step above Chad.
I don't know if yeah, we will. I don't know. It's just the other two seasons are just like if book one is great, book two and three are like beyond perfect.
Yeah,
There's no other way to explain it.
and it's funny because like I watched the show as a kid, but like I guess I only saw episodes here and there because there's so much I missed. As a kid, I knew Zuko got redeemed, but that was only because I saw an episode that was late into season three, and I was like, wait, wasn't he the bad guy? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that's just so great. Is like as a kid, I was under the the conception that like, okay, Zuko's the bad guy, Aang is the good guy, and this show like challenges that out the gate. I've said out the gate like 50 times, but like right from when Zuko's first shown, you're like, no, he's not like evil.
He has a
Like
scar. He's a bad guy.
yeah,
That's what in my mind. He's using fire. Fire is
yeah,
hot and
fire
bad.
hot, bad,
He
red,
has scar. That is evil, and he's not.
ponytail.
Yeah, he's not spine. Yeah, the ponytail really sells him as a villain.
Let's also say like, thank God that fucking ponytail is gone.
Yeah,
He looks so
he's
much
so much.
better.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely a Chad with the long hair.
We all want to be book three Zuko.
Yeah. Do you ever see
But
that tweet where it's like, you might be book one Zuko now, but even Zuko developed into book three Zuko? It's like, yeah.
yeah. Um yeah, but like as a kid I was like Zuko bad and good, and that challenges those like kind of simple things that we get in cartoons all the time, because I think of
Yeah,
like
not only does it like challenge like the most childish perceptions of the show, but it challenges like the most nuanced perceptions of the show as well, which
mm,
is really, really cool. Which
and
those I
like
think the latter of which is more so to do with like book three and book two, like especially when Aang has to decide if he's gonna kill the Fire Lord. Like there's
mhm,
so many like things that go into it, and all of his past avatars are saying things like don't kill him," which
mhm,
is, you know, as like a very like smart person, you could say like, oh, killing is wrong or killing is this, but it just challenges it, and it's really
yeah.
cool to see. I've said really cool a lot too. It's just amazing to see how they go about like challenging these uh different concepts.
Yeah, and I mean it's like fascism, sexism, genocide, like all these adult themes, like literally like propaganda, fake news, like that's all prevalent in Avatar at some point, revenge, everything, like so much shit. Where it's like usually a show or a movie will tackle one or two or three of those things, but like Avatar does it all because it's realistic, well, not it's not
Yeah,
realistic,
well,
but
yeah, I know what you mean. For a show that's like literally based on the most like absurd principle of bending elements, it's very grounded in realistic problems,
right.
which is why it's so, because I feel like a lot of like fantasy shows, their problems only relate to the problems in their world, but a lot of what you see in the characters in Avatar you can extrapolate to things that are happening now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, definitely watch book one of Avatar. We'll be back for book two, which will probably be like a 2 hour long episode because we can go all day.
Yeah, it's probably the best season.
It's so close, but I think I
It
give the
is really
slight
close.
edge to book two.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's actually incredibly close, but I do think it was just the most well done one.
Crossroads of Destiny. It's just something else.
Papa's Lost Days. Ugh.
Fuck off with Appa's Lost Days, man. I'm gonna cry. All right. Anything else?
um, nope, I got nothing.
I'd say let's do recommendations, but I have watched literally nothing new.
Yeah, if you've seen my letterbox, I have not watched a new movie. Right now it is what? It's September 21st,
Yep.
as of recording. And I've not like put in a new thing in my letterbox since August 31st.
Oh my God. See,
But
I
I've
have,
like
but
I've watched like three movies, but they weren't movies that I paid enough attention
yeah.
to really like, be like, oh, I'm gonna rate this. Like one of them was like Poltergeist, and I was just like really really bored, and like not doing this.
Yeah. I've literally, my last three movies, I just watched three MCU movies because I'm doing a little mini MCU rewatch with my girlfriend. Um,
Oh wow, girlfriend,
yeah.
huh?
Plug. Um, but yeah, I'll recommend. I've been playing Super Mario 3D All Stars. Pick that up. It's
Oh
pretty
wait, it's
fun.
already out?
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I thought it came out like next month.
Nope. It's out. I got. I've been playing Sunshine. I haven't played
Sunshine's
Galaxy
really
yet.
good.
It's great, but Tommy,
The camera can be really fucked
no,
up
no, no,
sometimes.
not that's 64. I tried playing
Oh
64.
yes,
I was like, I'm giving up on this for a while.
I do have one other complaint about Sunshine though. So you say what you're gonna say first though.
um, I've been so I'm playing on my Switch, and I have four Joy Cons, right?
Yeah.
And I was playing on the TV, so I had them in just my hands. I think all but one of my Joy Cons is drifting,
Uh,
and so I used Lily's, and one of her Joy Cons started drifting. And my question to Nintendo, if you're listening, is
they are.
why the
Believe
fuck
me.
won't you make a second model of the Joy Cons? Can we please have something else?
I think there is like a class action lawsuit of the Joy-Con thing going
We'll
on.
like speed it up.
That's definitely not how legal processes work. They are meant to be slow as hell and to never get solved. Um, but yeah, it's like actually super annoying. I think you actually can send in your Joy Cons to get fixed though.
I know, but like, how long does that fucking take? I gotta buy a stamp,
Probably, probably like a few months. No, a few months, few weeks.
and then I can't play for like weeks. It works in handheld mode. They don't drift,
Huh.
so it's fucking annoying. But what's your complaint about Sunshine?
Oh, so there's like many moments where like, um, I have no other way of explaining this, but like, think of you're like climbing up. So like, let's say a sunshine level is you're climbing up to the top of a tree,
Mm-hmm.
and at like the very last branch of the tree, this isn't an actual sunshine level, but like this is like the basis for which a lot of the sunshine levels are. At the top of the tree, there's this like very hard jump, and if you miss that jump, you
You go all the
fall
way
all
down.
the way back to the bottom, and you have to restart the whole thing. And I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
so many sunshine levels are like that, where you miss this one tiny thing at the end, and it's like, okay, well now you have to restart the entire thing. It's like, oh my god, and
I
that
say
happened
fuck the
like,
Sandbird.
yeah, for the fucking sandbird. There's
Sandbird,
this,
if you're listening to this, fuck you.
uh, yeah, we're canceling. Sandbird is over party.
Yeah.
I'm not about it. But yeah, it just that was the one thing I didn't like. But the movement is really good, and it's bright, and it's pretty, and the music is great, and I like it.
Ugh, I love the
Besides that,
music.
yeah,
Um, you know what? I have a bone to pick with another game that has nothing to do with this, but Luigi's Mansion 3,
yeah,
fun game. I enjoyed it. Um, every fucking level, or maybe not every level, but at least every third level or so, you'll like beat the ghost. They will drop the elevator button, which you need to get an elevator button to go all the way up to the top of the hotel. They'll drop the button, you'll go to get it, and then a fucking ghost cat will come out of nowhere and take the button and fuck off 3 floors down, and you have to go and go get the ghost cat, and every time you have to hit the ghost cat 3 times, and it'll just jump through the floors, and it's the most. It happens like 9 fucking times. The ghost cat will just steal the button and fuck right off, and it's like, it got to the point at one point where I was like, I defeated the ghost. I went for the button, and I went, here comes the ghost cat, and the ghost cat like jumped through, grabbed the button, and fucked off. It's just like, if you're gonna have that happen, have it like once or twice.
Or
You
do
know?
it in like a different way. Like have some other
Yeah.
thing happen before you have to get the ghost
It's
button.
just it's literally just like trying to increase the playtime, because like that game would be really short if the fucking cat didn't steal the button all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what'd be fun? You know what'd be really fun? What if we did like a video game review episode where we both
We've
like
talked
played
about
video games? We've talked about this before?
Yeah.
Like
It
what?
depends. We have to both play a game that we want to play, though.
That is true. I was thinking we should probably do something like shortish. Like there are a lot of games. One of the things I don't like about video games now is that every single video game is like a 35 plus hour experience. And it's
Yeah.
like, Jesus, like I'm part of the reason I really like retro games is that you play them for like 9 hours at most and you are done with the game. And it's
Yeah.
just really nice to play like 30
I've come to
minutes
that. I've come to
a
that
day.
too, where I'm like, I don't want long games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's like the old man in me being, but like playing a 3D Mario game
Oh,
is
so
just like
nice.
so nice, because right, it's
Oh,
like such a
yeah.
low commitment. Like there's no story. Like that's another thing. Like if I buy a
It's
Batman
mindless
game or a
fun. It is
Spider-Man
mindless
game,
fun.
I have to play it before spoilers come out. But with
Mm-hmm.
Mario, it's like I don't give a fuck if Mario is spoiled. What's gonna
Yeah, like
happen?
yeah, okay, Bowser's still wow, that got me there. I didn't expect that one.
But they're also just so fucking fun.
Yeah, that's what I like about like I've just been I just said I played like a ton of like old retro like SNES games that I definitely got legally. And
Nintendo.
yeah, and they're a lot of fun. I just like hung out like during quarantine. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna play like Super Metroid for like an hour.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was so good. And I'm starting to enjoy like just playing old video games that are short much more than like these giant expansive ones that take hours and hours on end because it's just like oh such a
I
commitment.
especially hate like, I mean, you don't have much experience with this, but like any game with a loot system, like
Yeah, I don't have much experience.
where you have to like fucking grind and level up and get this chest piece and get this headpiece, and just to beat the fucking game you have to level up so much and spend so much time doing it. I don't want it. You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe
But
we'll talk about this after the podcast, but I think we should do that where we just like play a really short but like fun game. And yeah,
yeah,
I
we
think it'll be
definitely
cool.
can.
Like a Mario game, like Super Mario World.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Anyway, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Follow us on Letterboxd. The links will
Letterboxd.
be in the description, as they always are.
And follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram
Yep,
at
Twitter,
SSMP
YouTube,
Show.
Instagram, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.
And have a good night.
And yeah, love each other.
What? Did you just say love each other?
Yeah, you know, just
Wow.
it's rough out there.
Yeah, it's rough out there, champ.
All right, goodbye, everyone.